Hello friends. Every adult, at some time in their life, considers picking a job and evaluates how they feel about it. Years spent working in a particular field either been successful and satisfying earnings or, on the other hand, have completely drained all the energy and desire to remain at workplace. But the crucial query is, how many people are really content and committed to their task and ready to a smile on their face as they awaken in the morning, and, as they say, put in the hard work. Therefore, on that typically unlucky day, one American plumber didn't hesitate to put his face online and became a real internet phenomenon. When 40-year-old American woman Andrea Adams went out to get the mail in the morning, she discovered a hole coming out of the house and a lot of water pouring all over the place. When 20-year-old Jimmy Cox arrived at his destination, he could see his line of work from a distance and was quite honest. The man did not anticipate paying such a large amount of water from a hole there was a lot of murky water because it was about 1.5 meters deep. By the way, Jimmy had only been working as a plumber for a little over a year, and all of his calls went indoors, but this wasn't the case. The disturbing house left such an impression on the man that he chose not to seek assistance and to handle the situation on his own, not realizing that he would soon become an internet celebrity. Jimmy had no choice but to dive headfirst into the murky water and fix the leak because the situation called for an immediate response. When Andrea saw Jimmy, as you might have guessed, the young plumber refused to assist and dove into the pit wearing his usual work attire of an old shirt and jeans. She was extremely surprised by the master's intentions and offered to bring old items that would not spoil in such a dirty environment. Jimmy literally dove down to his stomach before moving toward the difficulty site while holding his breath. The man was mindful that if contaminated water got into his nose, it may cause serious problems. It might have had a very bad outcome. Although the issue wasn't urgent, it was necessary to consider a few alternatives to stop the water flow because it was impossible to put a clamp. As a result, the young worker cut the pipe and turned the valve on under the water before heroically exiting. You can only imagine the look on the manager's face when he saw him do this. Andrea offered to use the tissues she brought in the restroom, but she immediately came up with an idea to photograph the man and upload it to Facebook so that others might view it. After Jimmy agreed, hundreds of others commented on the man's deed, expressing their thanks. He didn't see anything noble or deserving of shame. The leak itself would have flooded half the neighborhood if Jimmy hadn't been determined enough to jump into a muddy puddle and fix it. The following day, the man was visited by TV, who showed up and recorded a brief story. A day later, he was contacted by the company that makes the identical jeans worn in the call and was given the opportunity to work for them for an entire year. If you think the man's remarks ended there, think again. He also invited you to a private event honoring the heritage of denim and to choose Jimmy clothes in their network. A genuine plumber received an honorary award from Gainsborough's mayor, Nancy Vaughn, and well-wishers organized a trip for Jimmy to New York, where he had never gone before. He had his hair cut and clothes chosen by a real stylist, and the evening was completed with a soothing spa treatment. Of course, it sounds like a fairy tale, but everyone involved in this unusual story agreed that it was just polite to treat such a respectable man as such, and in fact, it was. Jimmy and the gentleman himself obviously didn't expect such a nice reaction, much less glory after this nasty call. There aren't many people who are ready to come to aid in a circumstance like this. Another would have simply turned around and left the woman alone with her problem. He said a brief but incredibly respectful word in his interview because he was simply going about his business as usual. You must carry out your obligations. The image of Jimmy with his legs protruding into the water is still widely shared online and has inspired several memes. And the man's career took off after that. Even the most routine plumbing call, and most importantly, his attitude toward his work, can change his life. If you identify with the conscientious plumber in this story or have ever seen someone behave in a similar way, be sure to share your experience in the comments. But for today, that's all. Thank you for watching, until next time, and good luck.